The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? It's not normal to see a whole bunch of third graders running around like airplanes at 2 a.m. But why? Come find out as Amber and Scott discuss weapons. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
Well, do you think I can? No. But no. Listen. Yes, they look like zombies. They acted like zombies, but they weren't undead. They're not zombies. You don't get to be here today. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess Jimmy, our zombie correspondent, wanted in on this one.
I mean, I see where he was going with it because, I mean, they did act extremely zombie-like, but yeah, no, I'm shutting that down. We're getting too many invasions lately.
Yeah, no, this definitely wasn't zombies. So, boys and girls, this episode we are talking about weapons. When all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanish on the same night, exactly the same time, a community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. And the small community immediately thinks the teacher did something.
I mean,
because I have to say the trailers and this description, like, there was one kid that shows up in class and all the other desks are empty. And they're looking for someone to blame. And, you know, the teacher kind of makes sense because, like,
she is the common thread.
She is. And they're thinking, what did you do? What did you say?
Yeah, but it's actually kind of weird. I mean, like, the boy knew, but he never cracked to the police. Alex,
the one student who was left in the class and was questioned by everyone, was just like, I don't know, because they thought, you know, was it a plan? Was it a social media thing? Was everyone watch a show? What was it that everyone took the same action? Because they all left their homes at 2:17 at night, and some of the families had Ring door cams or other cameras that captured their child leaving the house.
Did we even say that the movie was Weapons?
I thought I did. Weapons.
Maybe you did. Weapons. Yeah. I mean, that's like, listen, I think it's hard to blame the teacher because it's hard to get 17 students at once to just sit in their chair and pay attention, let alone get them all to wake up at 2:17 in the morning precisely and leave the house.
Yeah, no, that's some flash mob coordination there that is reserved for
not
older
8-year-olds.
people. Yeah. So this film had an interesting format in that they introduced us to characters and we saw their story, and there was a mild amount of overlap between their stories as they interacted with one another. But each time you get another person that you're following what their backstory is, and with that little vignette of that person, you're getting more information to be able to put together what actually happened to these kids.
Yeah, I actually loved the storytelling style that they did.
Yeah, it was very engaging.
Yeah, it was like build this one character and then introduce another one that has the first one in it in parts, but it's their perspective on something, and then a third one that can interact with the first two, and they kept going like that. And I thought it was a brilliant storytelling method. As you and I discussed beforehand, the plot certainly had a few holes in it that didn't seem to get resolved.
Yeah, a couple of things. There was a lot happening, and some things didn't get fully explained. The vignettes with the different characters, though, one was really interesting in the fact that they start talking about this druggy guy who lives in a tent in the woods. And you're thinking at that point, how in the world does this character play into all of this? And they wove that together very nicely. But I agree with you. There was a lot of things that were transpiring on the screen that were not fully explained. It was still a very engaging film. I definitely was present and enjoying it. But if you look at, well, what did that mean and why was that? There was a lot of those kinds of gaps.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, the aunt was into some voodoo shit.
Yeah, she was poking herself, getting blood, wrapping it around, twine, stabbing herself with a thorn, getting people's hair. And she ultimately is, spoilers, folks, the one who basically put some sort of hex or trance on these kids and made them leave the house. And they came to the house that she was staying at, and they lived in the cellar. Now, we are to assume that they somehow have a role in helping her be healthier. We know that she's sick. We don't really see any physical symptoms of this other than the fact that she's lost most of her hair. But somehow we do get the information that she's sick and that somehow this will help her get better. But there were those critical pieces of information missing as to how and why.
Why? I'm still trying to figure out the principal or the school person and his husband.
Uh-huh.
Like, I get how the husband got attacked, but how did she control the principal?
She had his, when she went to visit the office.
She took the ribbons. That's right.
Yeah. So you just need something from someone. Sometimes she cut hair, and sometimes she just got items, and that's what she had Alex, the one boy.
The hair seems to be a requirement for the target. Whoever they're targeting, she needs the hair. Whoever she's controlling, it can be like anything of theirs.
Yeah, all kinds of rules to voodoo and magic, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and that was definitely voodoo. Like, not just regular old magic. Like if you know anything about like deep Louisiana voodoo magic type stuff, that was definitely what it is, using like the physical symbols to control. And
I watched American Horror Story that season that they were in Louisiana and dealt with dark magic.
Yeah.
So I know all this stuff.
That was some super dark stuff. She was just missing the accent.
So let's dig into some what would you do's now that we spent some time with the film. One of the this is a really basic one, but the aunt who is the bad person in the story.
No. I mean, yes, I'm just answering your question before you ask it. But keep going.
So the aunt knocks on the door of the principal, and the principal is there with his husband, and they're watching TV, and they just set out food to munch on, and the aunt shows up with a story of saying, I missed my bus, and I walked all the way here, and I'm tired, and can you get me some water? And the principal is actually really good about setting boundaries and be like, I'm sorry that happened. But we were in the middle of something, and his husband says, oh, what are you talking about? Of course, come in, we'll get you some water. And then that resulted in the husband getting murdered with basically the head of his husband who was banging it profusely against him. So what would you do if someone shows up on your door and you can be either the principal or the principal's husband, but where you have a conflict with a spouse on whether or not lets someone into your home, whether you invite someone into your home that doesn't really belong there.
If it's a split decision, you err on the side of safety, and you say no. Like, that's got to be unanimous to let them in.
Well, and I'm sure, like, she didn't appear to be scary. I mean, she was a little peculiar looking, but you don't think, oh, I'm going to get attacked by this.
She was really peculiar looking.
Elderly woman. I always err on the side of caution when it comes to things like this, and I guess now I have a reason because I don't want someone, taking over my body or having somebody else take over someone's body and being collateral damage.
I mean, luckily it was a movie, but
was it?
I mean, I think
was
so.
It?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna ask about the aunt contacts the parents of the boy. I mean, they're
what?
Her sister and brother-in-law, and it's like, hey, I need to.
Oh yeah,
stay.
What would you do if a relative that you don't really know and you haven't seen for a minimum of 15 years needed to come to your house because they were ill and they needed some hospice care?
Family stays together. No. I mean, family who is family. Like, actually acts like family, maybe, but like that is the thing. I am not in the camp of you get special privileges because you're family. Now, you will get some, like, you'll get more consideration as far as, like, maybe being cut out of a life or something like that, or it might be a lower bar necessary to help you, but it is not an automatic because you're family, we will help you.
Yeah, in this case, they let the aunt, the mom's aunt, Alex's mom, stay with them, and within 24 hours, that aunt had turned the mom and the dad into zombies that stabbed themselves in the face with forks.
Why you said that? No,
My mistake.
she misspoke.
Metaphoric.
She
metaphorical
Don't do it
zombies.
again.
Sorry, Jimmy, are you just lurking over there behind that pole?
What else I got to do?
My bad. So, yeah, obviously the mom didn't know the aunt, the husband didn't know the aunt, the child, Alex, definitely didn't know the aunt. And after the aunt turned the parents into these trance-like people who just sat and hurt themselves, so she told them to, you have this young child, Alex, being traumatized, saying, you know, feed your parents soup, keep them alive, or else I'm going to make them hurt themselves. And then, I don't know, feed the 17 kids who are standing in the dark basement soup to keep them alive. I mean, that poor Alex.
Listen, if I'm Alex here, at some point, I have to say something. I have to.
I mean, I was traumatized for that young boy having to go through that and being told if he says anything, you know, his parents are gonna kill each other. I mean, the aunt was so over the top, saying not only can I make them hurt each other, she goes, I can make them eat each other. OMG. Yeah. So what would you do if someone comes as a guest in your home, invited by a different person who lives within the home, and like, how would you handle a situation like that? Because it doesn't seem like the wife actually considered the whole family in that discussion.
Yeah, no.
Especially when it comes to someone who's sick and aging. And that's honestly, it's a conversation you need to have with a young child because they might not have been exposed to that. And that can actually be scary to a young child.
Yeah, no, I think, again, it's not an automatic here. I'm still shocked that even after everything went down in crazy fashion, like watching his entire class get abducted, basically, he still didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, I can understand how someone that young, this person, overwhelming presence comes into your life and you have nobody and you're told, do as I say or else I'm going to hurt your parents or have your parents hurt each other. So, I mean, you don't have a lot of resources when you're a kid. And you do mostly still listen to authority. But
that's the thing, though. Like, you listen to authority, but you've got the police grilling you on what do you know, and you stay clammed up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, you can't just blurt it to whatever. You kind of need to have some form of a plan, but you just need to go to someone and say, listen, my aunt told me not to tell a living soul, so I need you to not tell anyone, be able to do something with this, but she's doing something and she has my parents and my entire class.
Yeah, and sadly, when there was a possibility of hope on the horizon when the police went there, the police also got taken over into that trance-like state and also went crazy. So, yeah, definitely a very complicated, witchy situation. So what would you do if you were the teacher? You teach this class, all of your students are gone except for one boy, and everyone's thinking you did something. What would you do in that situation?
That's a horrible position.
Can you
for the
imagine?
Yeah.
That's got to be, I can't imagine what that would feel like.
I mean, you got to get out of town. I mean,
well, but doesn't that make you look guilty? Like, oh, are you getting out of town to find out where you go wherever you stash the kids?
No, I mean, once you're consulted by your administrator, like, we're not bringing you back on. You've got the town that's ready to lynch you. I mean, for your own safety, you got to go.
Well, which leads me to a next. What would you do is if someone painted something on your car, and in this case it was witch, and I think that was mostly just to keep the content clean. But would you, even after you tried to get it off and it wouldn't come off, would you continue to drive around town so everyone knew where you were, including dropping off your one-night stand in your branded car that said witch in red paint?
I mean, if it's the only car she's got, I mean, she's a teacher.
I mean, I would put something over it. I would get like some paper that you put down on the ground when you paint, and
Decal or something,
and get that blue tape that you use for, when you cover up the floor when you paint, and
Yeah,
put that on the side.
Yeah, they've got like those decals or even the car wraps. I mean, I don't know if I get a
Well,
car wrap.
I don't know if you want a car wrap or anything permanent, but or poster board, something to cover that up, because number one, it takes away your privacy. Everyone knows that you're at the liquor store getting alcohol again. Everyone knows that you're dropping off the guy that you slept with the night before, who actually happens to be in a relationship.
I mean, this is a third grade teacher. I know a lot of teachers. The thing about the alcohol does not shock me at all.
I mean, teachers are people. I remember this actually brought up when I was in school, and I'm not unique. I know pretty much every student felt this way. When you saw a teacher in the wild, it was, oh my gosh,
oh yeah,
there's Mrs. So-and-so, and they were wearing normal clothes, and they were doing something normal, like at the market or at the movie, and it was, oh my gosh, there they are.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I've had the exact same thing.
Yeah. It's funny, really, when you think about it, that as kids, you just see your teachers as this one specific role, and wow, if they're actually out in the world doing normal things, it's this whole noteworthy experience.
Yeah, I mean, up until high school. After high school, I think that myth gets busted up a little bit. But before high school, like you're in second, third grade, and you see your teacher out in the wild. Whoa!
So what were some what would you do's that stuck out to you? What would you do if you got stuck in the face repeatedly with the needles from a drug user?
Dude, what he did to that druggie,
warranted.
I think was lucky for the druggie.
Yeah, I mean, he asks repeatedly, do you have any needles? Do you have anything that's going to hurt me? And the guy says no, and then the cop reaches into the pocket and proceeds to get impaled by a needle and starts bleeding, and then later gets 3 needles in his face. Yeah, 3 in the face. Yeah, occupational hazard, that's for sure.
I also don't know if I would unzip slowly. In that case, I'm the officer. I'm unzipping quickly and jumping back.
Unzipping? What do
the
you mean?
tent. Very slowly.
Yeah, okay.
Which gave the druggie, like, plenty of time to know he was coming. And, like, go ahead. If you're the cop, you do it fast. You jump back, and you've got your weapon.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're facing there. Or honestly, if you're the cop, you tell him, come out now or I will shoot. And you make him come out.
Well, and the truth is the way that the story worked, we weren't sure who was on the other side. We didn't know it was the cop. We thought it might have been the clown hiding in the woods, which again, was it the ant? Was it a vision? Because the ant looked kind of clowny. That was one of the things that wasn't really quite clear and did not get tied up well, is why did Justine see the clown in the ceiling? Why did Archer see the clown? Why did the druggie guy see the clown in the woods? Was it the ant? Because she did look kind of clown-like, or was it some sort of hallucination? So we didn't know who was on the other side of the tent, so that was definitely for dramatic effect with the slow zipping for sure.
Yeah, I feel like this is another one of those, the answers ended up on the cutting room floor.
Maybe. Yeah, and sometimes I think these people who tell these stories, and it surprises me because it's not like, I don't know, Hollywood movie making is a new thing, but that they don't have new people look at things to look at continuity and where the blanks are, because as a former book editor, I can tell you that when I read things, they were like, okay, well, you didn't explain this, or where did this come from, or you left out a step. And you really need that in films as well, because people become so accustomed to the story they're telling, and especially when things are filmed out of sequence, and it might not always be obvious of where the gaps are. And I'm surprised that there's not a better system in films for that, because that does happen more than it should.
Yeah, you need someone who maybe even before it's actually put together. I mean, no, actually, because when you're cutting it up, you still have all the footage. Like you need someone internal who's never seen the movie before.
Yeah.
To watch it and then take notes about, like, their whole job is to find plot holes.
Yeah.
And then come back and say, these are the plot holes. And I mean, sometimes they're probably going to say, okay, well, I'm good with leaving that open-ended. But really, I mean, oftentimes it is easy to cinch them up if you're, like, smart about it and you really think about it. instead of leaving it on the floor,
Yeah.
even like you noted during the credits, that whole triangle thing.
Yeah.
Like that's nowhere in the movie that I could see.
Yeah, there was a triangle in the movie logo, and then at the end during the credits, and
Yeah,
it was
but-
like, okay, we didn't really have a triangle.
Yeah,
anywhere
or if it was not very obvious.
Yeah, and if you're going to make that part of your logo and part of your closing credits, it should be darn obvious. Like, the stick figure from the Blair Witch Project or something that's a prominent visual from the film and bring it in. But if I have to think, where did that triangle come from? There's something there that didn't connect. And then also, too, you look at little things like the aunt was sick. But then, I don't know, these kids were in their basement for more than a month, and she didn't necessarily act any different than she did before. But they were supposed to heal her. So, yeah, there was definitely a lot of gaps. Final thoughts on weapons.
Yeah, see more zombie movies!
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.